welcome to another riveting episode of Buggy Reviews. Today's episode, we're going to be reviewing a Mark Millar classic, I would say, in my eyes. A comic that has been adapted by Netflix. I know. Netflix, everyone's butt tends to pucker up at the mere sound of Netflix. However, it was turned into an anime, which I was surprised to hear. SuperCrooks, one of Mark Millar's books. Because if you're not unfamiliar with it, or if you have a faint idea, Mark Millar, he came up with Kick-Ass, the SuperCrooks, the one we're talking about, Jupiter's Legacy, Superior, and for other people, he was the one behind Old Man Logan. He was one of the big people behind that particular book. Now, what is SuperCrooks? Well, SuperCrooks is a story of supervillains. You know, it's like we've all had shows about superheroes and anti-heroes and whatnot. Now this is about a show of supervillains. It's got the world is pretty standard for the most part. You know, it's like, got your world, there's people with superpowers and whatnot. Got your typical superhero shenanigans and whatnot here or there. Throw in maybe a little bit of elements from The Boys, where some of the superheroes are very careless or whatnot, I would say. And you have a ragtag group of individuals who've all got powers and abilities and whatnot, and they, you know, are getting together to commit some heists. Now, I'll be honest, when reading the actual book, you see, the book only really has maybe 2-ish heists that go on in the actual story, because it's all about this group getting together to help one of their own out of a jam, and then they commit a heist. However, in the show itself, they kind of expand on it. They don't really tap into the general source, the actual main heist itself, until the tail end. You know, up until then, they build off of it with an original content that just further elaborates on the story and builds out the world a bit, you know, and the characters. Speaking of which, a couple of the standout characters, I would say, you know, is Johnny Bolt, our main protagonist. He's got electricity powers, which can, he uses to shock people, and also can, control certain machines if he can, whatnot. He's a bit of a brash guy, you know. He's always just trying to make that big score, try to make it big in the league, you know, because that's just what it is. All these guys, they just want to make some money, make a name for themselves, you know. Be good at what they're at, you know. Then you have Casey, his girlfriend, who is kind of helps try to keep him in line, because he gets a little more carried away, his head gets up in the clouds a bit, and she's a bit more practical, more logical. She gets the high and the fun of it, but it's like, hey, look, we gotta not do that, you know, we gotta think about this for a minute, you know. And it's not done in any way where she's just bashing on him just to bash on him. There's an actual logistical reason, and it's never one over the other. You know, it's like they make up with each other. You know, they have their issues sometimes, but they have a great chemistry. You know, and a great connection. As for, I would say, let's move on to antagonists. I think, because we have two of them. We have the Bastard, which is his literal name, He's a big-time supervillain crime boss. He's basically, if you combined Professor Xavier's mental abilities with the Kingpin and throw in a little bit of a Godfather into the mix, you have that. You know, he's the Kingpin with superpowers. You know, he helped create this network, as they call it, of supervillains that helps each other out and does, you know, that does work for him. And typically, a lot of supervillains, they have to, if they want to try to get any form of success in the business for jobs, they would have to call network help, and that would involve them having to lay out a cut of their take. You know, about, I think it was 30%, and the bastard kind of like oversaw all of this. He was the godfather of it all. And then you have the Praetorian. The Praetorian is just the biggest asshole you've ever seen in your life, yet I love him. I love every second he's on screen. It's just goddamn hilarious. You know, he's just this all-powerful, you know, got all these, like, superpowers. He's literally got, like, 200 superpowers, and the thing about him is he doesn't know what power he will use, because it's on a random generator. You know, sometimes it'll be freeze breath, or maybe teleportation, or duplication. You know, all these different abilities that can just go out of nowhere, and he carries this deck of cards, you know, which, you know, he would use to basically just test out what ability he's going to be getting on it. You know, like, he holds up a card, he just shoots lasers out of his eyes like Superman. He's like, oh, that's cool, haven't used that in a while. And it's like, and the fact that he's basically kind of like in that Homelander sense, where the public sees him as one way, but in reality, there's something else there. He's the crooked superhero, you know. He's down and dirty. He's the dirty cop, you know. And they play it off so well that he's just there's nothing uncompromising. They don't try to make you sympathize with them. He's an asshole. You hate him when he shows up, because you're supposed to, yet you love seeing him on there. You know, he poses just such a significant threat to the characters, you know, and they showcase that in the multiple battles that they have, that the SuperCrooks had to pull out a wild card scenario to even hope to match the Praetorian, you know. Now, without trying to get too deep in the spoiler territory, you know, as I said, the general plot line is Johnny Bolt and Casey, they meet up with a couple of other people in the supervillain gang, and they want to just do a heist, but they don't want to do it with the network and the old bass. They're trying to take a cut. They're trying to do their own, they're trying to do their own thing. So they're going to do a particular heist that's what they're going to do. And along the way, shit can get wild and crazy, as these typical heist things do, you know, and then it leads them to doing even another heist later on at the end, where it culminates, and it does, and it kind of wraps itself up pretty well, to the point where I am glad that it wraps it up, because the comic was only like maybe 5 or so issues, maybe 6, if I could think about it off the top of my head. So, you know, there wasn't too many things you could do off the top of your head, unless you had to really expand upon it. But if you wanted to, I wouldn't mind it, but it's not needed. I would say the voice work was pretty spot on. It just was pretty chill. I recognized a few familiar faces and voices here or there. The animation, that animation is just so smooth and crispy, and I'm glad that they went to a Japanese studio and contracted them for this, because, like, oh god, beautiful animation. Just look at the intro. just watch the intro that they put for SuperCrooks, and it's just so fucking perfect. I love it. If you can make an intro that is so good that I don't want to hit the skip intro button, you've done a good job. Every fucking time. 13 episodes, and I never wanted to do it. Not once. Like, only a couple of shows have ever done that. Arcane was one of the more recent examples. I didn't want to skip the intro to that, and I didn't want to skip the intro to this. Now, if you want my full, just quick thing there, just watch SuperCrooks. Go watch it. I'm not elaborating or giving spoilers because I want you to watch it. I want you to enjoy it. I want you to revel in it, you know? So, if you haven't seen it, go check it out. I know that it's a Netflix thing, so it's a bit dicey. I know Netflix got some problems here or there, you know, and I'll call them out when they got that problem. So, I don't know where you gotta go to the Seminole Seas. You go check it out. But whatever you gotta do, just watch the show. Please, watch the show. You will not regret it. If you like The Boys, if you like anime, you like superheroes, you want a show that's just not gonna bash you with some bullshit like we get most days, you just want a good story and a nice simple world you could just get into, watch that. Watch SuperCrooks. Alright? Now, I think that's gonna be it. What are your thoughts? Have you seen SuperCrooks? If you did, what did you think about it? What else in the superhero genre do you want me to check out? Leave it down in the comment section below, please. I do read them when they're there. Now, I'm going to call that a day for everybody. I hope to see you all in the next episode of Buggy Reviews. Goodbye.